Hello YouTube, and today I have another AtWar video for you guys on some speed tips. Now, my audio glitched, so I'm going to be doing a voiceover, so that is why the audio is not syncing with my lips. But anyways, the first tip is going to be that you can actually make units before the game starts in scenarios, or if you've just selected anything, and this is by auto produce. As you guys can see, if you auto produce, it actually produces units on turn 1. So this can be useful when you have large empires such as the one in here where I'm playing a scenario as Russia, and I have a lot of cities, and perhaps if I needed to expand, I'd need to plan some pre-units just so I could make the time efficiently. Now the downside is that if you're using this auto produce and there are event units, so what I mean by event units are units that appear in a city at a certain turn, and a lot of scenarios have it where the unit only shows up on turn 1, so then you won't be able to create that unit. Now for example, this scenario was one where Cossacks, I could have created Cossacks on turn 1, but I couldn't auto produce them, so that was more of a special event unit. Really, it just varies on what scenario you're using, so before you do auto produce stuff, just make sure and check that's the only units that you want. Alright, my second tip is going to help you on the speed of your walling. So I did not know this, but I figured this out a while ago. If you look in the upper hand left corner of the image unit pictures, you'll see a number, and if you press those numbers, one unit will come out of the city that you have selected. And this is very good because, as you can see, I've walled basically in 2 seconds, maybe less. Now it does not work when you double click, even though it shows the number, so you have to be in the city menu to do this. Alright, the third tip is about your expansion speed. Now I see a lot of people, and on the first turn they'll wall their city, and this is not beneficial to your expansion because most of the times on turn 2 you're going to be able to get enough units back to your capital city to defend, and it's just wasting units that you could otherwise use to expand. Going off of this, here's the second turn, and as you can see, 7 people basically walled their city, and the majority of them really didn't need to. For example, Saudi Arabia and the person Babylon, I think that is, they did not need to wall their city because there's no way that either one of those two would have been able to muster up enough units in that area to take their cap. They could have used that for further expansion in other neutral places. Now the guy in the orange failed his attack on the North Germany there, that area, and if he did not wall, he could have had that area and possibly more units to defend himself. Down here, Spain, which is, I guess you could say, close to Morocco, but still, even then they could have taken the place next to his capital and he would have had more units for even bigger expansion. Now this final tip is something I did not figure out until a while into playing AtWar, mainly because I use the scroll wheel to zoom in and zoom out. But if you see in the bottom right hand corner, there are little tabs. The plus sign is the zoom, the minus sign is the zoom out, and then the tabs next to that is the white one is visibility range, the blue one is of course stealth detection, and the bottom one, as you can see there, is range. Now let's say you're in a scenario and you really want to know who's on your team. You don't actually have to track who's on your team and who's out. Just press that red T and it'll split the teams into 2. So as you can see, I can see very clearly who's on my team and who's not because they're all one color. I hope this video helped you in playing AtWar a little bit faster so you can really focus on the decision making of AtWar. If you have something that you want me to cover, I'll try to cover it. Just ask me in the comments below, and I have a couple things planned that I'll address in the next video. So stay tuned for more.